Well, hey, I want to say welcome to the Disciple Making Church podcast, and we're so glad that you're joining us. You guys know that this is a podcast that we do every month, and we just like to say we talk about all things disciple making in a local church, and so we just like to focus on what does it look like inside a local body of believers where people are really committed to just being disciples and building disciples. And so, again, just want to say thank you for joining us. My name's Ken Adams, and I'm hosting this month, and I am the founder and director of Impact Ministries, but also I get to be the pastor of a place called Crossroads Church. And so we're a church in Newnan, Georgia, and we're just really committed to being a disciple-making church, trying to do the mission that Jesus put us on 2,000 years ago. And so if you will, share this with other people, like it if you will, that helps get it to more people. And so we just want to, really our vision is to see more and more churches learn what it means to be movements of multiplying disciples. So I'm excited about today because I have joining me a couple of good buddies of mine. And so this is Dr. Glenn Howell, and he is with us today, and this is Chris Thomas, and he is with us today. And I've had the opportunity to be in a discipleship group. We call it an impact group here at Crossroads, and we've been in an impact group together for right at 2 years, hadn't we?
That's
and
right.
So we just finished back in a few months ago, back in the fall, really in the summer. We kind of finished and then wrapped it up, and so we spent 2 years together, just really trying to grow and trying to become more like Christ and learn what it means to be a disciple of Christ. And so I just thought that today would be a great podcast for you to be able to hear from people that are in a local church. They're not paid staff. They're not ministers necessarily in a church capacity or anything like that. And I thought it'd be good for you just to hear their story and hear what they experienced by being a part of what we call an impact group. So Chris, first of all, just introduce yourself, tell everybody that's listening what it is that you do.
Well, my name is Chris Thomas, and I moved to Newnan in 2023, and Pastor Ken invited me to the impact group starting in beginning of 2024, and so I jumped right in. It was something that I was looking for back home. And
home was where?
In Ohio.
Ohio,
yeah. So looking for becoming a disciple, like we were looking into that and what that meant, and coming here, it was just something that was going on that I was just so blessed to get invited to be a part of.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very good. Good. Glenn, how about you? Tell us who you are, what you do.
Yeah, I'm Glenn Howell. I'm a chiropractor. Gosh, I've been coming to Crossroads for a long time, but really been faithful at Crossroads, I guess, for about the past 13 or 14 years. And, I've known that whole time that our mission statement was to be and build disciples, but I think I really missed the boat until Pastor Ken invited me to the impact group. And it's been great. It's been a lot of fun to really learn how to, do what Jesus did while he was here on earth to replicate his mission. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome.
And so both of you guys are just committed members of our church. I mean, you're not, on staff or anything like that. You both have jobs that keep you hopping, very busy, families that keep you got small kids and or younger kids, and so younger than mine. And so you guys are both really busy, but you made time for being a part of what we call a discipleship group here. We use the word impact group. And so for those who are just catching us here and watching us, so what our church does is that we try to help people. Basically, we try to connect with people that are outside of the church in the culture. We try to invite them to come hear more about Christ in what we call a Christ crowd, which is a weekend gathering, right? And then from there, we're trying to invite people into community, and then from community, which is typically a small group called a community group, then from there, we invite people into a impact group. And that impact group is where they go from community to really a core, a disciple-making core. And so those impact groups, they meet at a lot of different times, usually men and men, women and women, and they meet at a lot of different times, a lot of different locations, but they're all committed to the same process, or all committed to the same format, if you will. And so we use a curriculum. I'll tell you more about it later, but we use a curriculum here in our church that I've written, and that kind of keeps us all on the same page, all sort of working on the same process, if you will. And so what we do, we gather, our group, we gathered every Thursday morning. Yep. And we did it on a weekly basis, started at 7 o'clock. We, had coffee here and all that kind of stuff, and we gather. We were in a room with a bunch of other men that were in their groups as well. So our group was one of about a dozen that met together. We'd have a devotional up front. And so just picture in your mind, you're coming in Thursday morning, bunch of guys in a room having a cup of coffee together or whatever, small groups all over our auditorium. One of our pastors gets up, does a short devotion, and then we start our meeting, right? And so kind of describe best you can what that looked like when we started, kind of how did we start the group, what did we cover, then a little bit about how do we, it wasn't just a teaching format. And so how would you describe your experience?
It would start with typically a opening question, like a high or a low between when we last met and this time, which gives guys an opportunity to just share a little bit about what's going on in their life. It can be a time where you go a little deeper, and we did at times when the Spirit led, but most of the time it's just did you have a great week or did you have a bad week? If so, how can we pray for you? Mm-hmm. And I think it's a good way to start, to just get that conversation going before we get into each lesson for that week. And I always looked forward to hearing what was going on with each guy in the group. So I thought that was a good way to start it.
Yeah. And that really just created the relational dynamic, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because everybody's just sharing their life, right? We're not just in a class, we're actually in a group where we're sharing our life. So what typically happened after the opening time?
So yeah, like he said, I think it's a great opportunity to build relationships with other men as well. And it's been a long time since we did Impact 1, but if I remember correctly, I think just kind of going back to the foundation of what it means to be a Christian. And
yeah, exactly.
If you were ever in doubt of what it meant to be a Christian, that book kind of steered us in that direction. So we started off on the right foot by being sure that our hearts were where they're supposed to be. And then,
absolutely.
Yeah, and to your point, so we actually called the lessons in here essentials. You remember that? And we said, we started with spiritual growth essentials, and then we did Bible essentials and faith essentials, and then life essentials. And so what we believe is that to be a disciple and to make disciples, you've got to have a solid foundation. And so those are those essentials that we covered. And so then after we went through one, what we went through several other levels too, right, Chris?
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, and that's about the way the groups go, right there, isn't it? I mean, so talk to us. What was the difference between levels 2, 3, and 4? Do you remember?
I can't remember 100%.
I do remember, steering through like the fruits of the Spirit and
character of Christ, and conduct of Christ. Yeah,
I knew
100%.
And for those who are watching, this is 2 years worth of studies. It's a good time to do life together.
So we did a study on Impact 2, was on the fruit of the Spirit. Remember that? And so we walked through that, and then we did. We looked at the New Testament church, and we looked at the conduct of Christ, and then we got to level 4 where we talked about how do we lead, right? So the actual layout, not really that important, but the really important thing is what did it do in your life? And so is there any ways that you'd say, I think this is how I grew the most, and what did your growth look like?
Yeah, I think even my wife would be able to testify to the fact that I changed throughout the course of doing this Impact. I think my attitude towards her, towards my kids, not that it was ever like a terrible attitude, but when you really start talking about the fruit of the Spirit, love, patience, peace, kindness, and, once you start studying those, I really think the Holy Spirit changes you and you start to live that out a lot more easily. I mean, you want to live that out a lot more easily.
Yeah.
And she's made several comments, and I've even talked to my kids a little bit about it, and even they're like, we can just tell that you're not quick to anger like you. And I thought I was jumping all over them, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You just tell a difference, and it's been really cool to see.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So literally was in some ways life changing, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
It's impacted your life,
100%.
right? Yeah. You guys went on some mission trips together, you and your boy, and that kind of
We
thing.
have.
So
Talking about doing a couple more, actually. That's been on the table here lately.
that's great. That's good. How about you, Chris? Anything you would add to that as far as changes that have happened in your life?
I definitely have noticed and felt a change in the home. Just, I think my patience level, fruit of the Spirit being brought forward and talking about it with the family, even, just encouraging the kids. My wife did impact during that same 2-year period. My 2 daughters, who are teenagers, are also doing impact. So the cool thing is maybe we were a little bit further in it than the girls were, but we had gone through it all, having conversations about what we're studying. And, it's not like it's a quick fix. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but when it's practiced and you're intentional about it, the Spirit's going to move and the Spirit's going to lead you to make changes and become who God wants you to be.
Yeah. And, I vividly remember some times in our group where, you were going through some challenging circumstances just in your children's lives. Some of them were relational things. Some of them were health issues. Some of them were different things. Glenn had some as well with some blended family. I mean, we're just doing life together, right?
Absolutely.
And it's just life on life. And so a lot of those things that you guys have wrestled through, even in my own life, man, I've had some challenges. My parents died during that time and all that. And so even through that, it's not necessarily just what we have in the books. Right. It's what God's doing in our lives and what we're learning and what we're going through in life. I mean, boy, that intersection is what, in my mind, that's what gets me fired up about being in an impact group there, right?
I would add to that, you can get into a group like this and you can kind of you can try to not engage and be transparent, but when it's 2 years of a commitment and you're going to show up, eventually you break down that wall and you do, connect on a deeper level. And I think that's what men need, specifically men. Women need it, children need it, kids need it. But I think men need a group where they can be transparent. They can have guys that have their back, day to day even, that they can text or they can call as a part of their group that, they're going to be there for you.
Because guys can put a pretty good wall up there, can't they?
Right.
Kind of keep everybody at a distance, right? So
I
I definitely feel like that over the course of 2 years that we were together, man, I just saw relationships forge and cement a little bit during that time. So that's pretty cool, man. So if you were to think back over our months together and you said, hey, you know what, I think maybe this was one of my highlights, or this is the part about it I like the best, what would you say? I know there's some pretty incredible teaching going on.
For sure.
That was pretty good. But besides that, what would you say was your highlight or the best part you like best about being in an impact group? Either one of you.
What do you got, Glenn? You got something?
There's a lot, to be honest with you, and I just want to expand on the point he made just a second ago real quickly. I just from the outside looking in, the iron sharpening iron, I thought it was really cool to see other men change. Not only could I feel myself change, but I could visibly see some of the guys in the group as we went through this process pull a 180. The way they're taught, the way they act, the way they treat their kids. So, but so many good things that I got out of impact. I think a hopefully the ability to replicate this. I mean, that was huge. And I'll be honest with you, Pastor Ken, going into it, I really wasn't sure what I was getting into. You invited me to the group, and I didn't know that it was a 2-year commitment. It was my only day off, Thursdays. I mean, literally, and being my only day off, I had no excuse either not to be there. But I'm so glad I showed
Waking up early, man.
I know.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I would say that, during this, it forces you to get in the Word. And in doing that, the Word gets in you. And I mean, I also did, alongside of this, I did the Bible in a year. I did the Bible recap for the first time in my life. And it's not like I never wanted to do it before. I just was in the Word through Impact, as well as some of the small groups we're a part of, but I also just was led to do the Bible through a year. So I think the biggest takeaway is this has gotten, not only changed my life in relationships and just Spirit-led things, but also being in the Word more.
That's good.
Yeah. Just growth.
Yeah, and talking about that just brought something to my mind that I was going to just mention, and that is, one of my favorite things. We have a lesson, we have a memory verse, we have a daily reading that we do that ties to the lesson. And I think for me, one of the things I love best about it is when we do those daily readings, we have a section of Scripture that we're asked to read, and then we try to apply it by using a little acronym called ACTS, and that's is there an attitude to change, is there a command to obey, is there a truth to believe, or a sin to confess? And I think for me, one of the coolest things is that you could have 3 or 4 guys all actually reading the same verse, but it's speaking to every one of us differently, right?
That's right, yeah.
And to me, that would be one of the highlights, is because we're all reading the lesson part, we're all reading the same content. But when we're reading God's Word in those daily readings, man, God's just speaking to you individually, right? And so for me, that was a big plus and a big takeaway. It always made me, excited to see how God is using the time in the Word to speak to us all in a unique way. And that's beautiful, if you ask me. I think another big takeaway I had was we took a break over Christmas, and we went to Cracker Barrel together, and God just spoke to your heart and said, hey, why don't we take up some money and give it to this waitress? And it was crazy. We gave her a nice little tip, a little gift, and I think, she was very emotional. It was a very powerful
Prayed for her too.
thing. Yeah, we prayed for her and all that. And so, things like that, they're not in the book. They're not a part of an agenda, but they're just a part of a group of guys or gals that are just getting together and trying to learn and grow and honor God, And so that was cool. So
can I add to that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
This year we got to do a similar thing where we actually got to meet the needs of one of the members in our group, right? That's right. And I think that'd probably be maybe one of my biggest things, is being able to help somebody in our group that wasn't expecting it,
I agree.
Yeah. That's a big takeaway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So any other things that you would say, these were the kind of the big takeaways for me? Anything that we've not covered yet that you say, I thought this was a big part of it for me, or maybe a big learning for you over the last couple of years?
I think that the more I got into it, the more excited I was to be intentional about showing up and actually committing to the group. At first, I knew I was a Christian, so going through the basics, I was like, check. Yeah. But then as I get a little bit deeper into the impact, I began to realize how much I really needed it. And I know if I need it, so do other people. Yeah, so to be able to reproduce that and look forward to starting another impact group.
And that's both of y'all are planning to eventually get into a leadership role with a group, right? And so, and so that's really the cool thing, is that we just believe this thing ought to continue to multiply. And out of the group that we had, what's interesting is that there's a couple of guys that have already started new groups, and they're doing great. And so it's not just addition; it's actually multiplication. And so, I just think it's so cool for you to hear stories from guys like Glenn and Chris, and how, the Bible tells us that the disciples were ordinary, common men, and so, but God used them to make a difference in the world by multiplying disciples. And so I think it's important for you to hear stories like this so that you know that it's not just people with a biblical education, it's not just people with seminary degrees. It actually works in a local church if we just work it, right? And so anyway, real quick, if you said, if I just said, tell me one reason why you would tell other guys in our church or other churches, you say, this is why you ought to do, whether you do Impact or whether you do something else, this is why I think you ought to do it. How would you say it in one sentence or a couple of words? What would you say?
The Great Commission. That's what we're commanded to do. I mean, Jesus tells us to. So
that's why he's here, man.
I earned my keep. No, I'm kidding.
How about you, man?
I think it's a call, and I think men need this, and I think it's just something that men need to step up and do and commit to it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And it's a powerful thing when you come into that room on a Thursday morning and you see somewhere around 60 or 70 men that are all opening their Bibles together.
All ages.
Yeah, and challenging each other and encouraging each other and praying for each other and studying the life of Christ together. There's something powerful about that, because here's what happens when you see the men in your church change, you see marriages change, you see families change, you see workplaces change, you see a church change. And so I can't emphasize enough how important it is that every church be a disciple-making church, and really that if you're looking for a system or a plan that works, that aligns up with what Jesus did, we believe Impact is a good place to start. And so appreciate you guys being here and just sharing your experience and your thoughts. So I just want to let you know that if you are interested in knowing more about how the impact groups work, man, just reach out to us, contact us. We'll be happy to just connect with you over a call, or also come and share with you our training. We have a seminar called the Disciple Making Church Seminar, which helps a church not just do discipleship groups, but helps a church become a disciple-making church. There really is a big difference there, because discipleship is not just something that is an add-on to what we do. It is all we do. Disciple-making is. And so we start that disciple-making process from the culture, and it goes all the way to where you end up reproducing groups. And so we also have some curriculum that we've been using for many years, and this could be a real help to you. Impact 1 is our essentials to spiritual growth and development. Impact 2 is a study on the fruit of the Spirit, which we believe summarizes the character of Christ. Impact 3 is really a study on the church in the New Testament, which reflects the conduct of Jesus and what he did with his disciples. And then we have a leadership level. It's called 315 Leadership, but we're actually in the process of rewriting. And so, but we have happy to help you with that as well. So any way that we can help serve you at Impact Ministries, please just go to our website, impactdisciples.com. We've got other podcasts. We've got free things that are available there. We've got a daily disciple-making minute, and then all of our trainings that are coming are all listed there. So we're here to help you. We're here to serve you, and any way that we can do that, please let us know. Thanks again for joining us. We are so glad. Hope this has been helpful for you, and we can't wait to see you again next month.